The Meghan Markle yacht girl claims simply will not go away. And you know I've spoken about this before, but until now, no one in the mainstream media has been brave enough to go there. Well, that has just changed.
I think the palace and the machinery of the monarchy needs to take Harry and Meghan more seriously and make sure that Harry and Meghan's antics don't impact the...
Something serious is unfolding right now. And trust me, this is not just another royal story you can scroll past. Because the more you listen, the more questions start to come up. And at the same time, the deeper you go, the more complicated it gets. So stay with me, because what you're about to hear connects names, events, and claims in a way that's making people stop and look twice. Something big just dropped, and it's turning heads very fast. Tom Bower is back in the spotlight. And this time, the claims coming out about Meghan are raising serious questions that people can't ignore anymore. For a long time, there have been whispers about her past, and those rumors stayed quiet, moving around without clear answers. But now, people are starting to say those stories may not have been so quiet behind the scenes after all. And what's really making people pause is the idea that powerful figures may have known more than they ever showed publicly. If that is true, then it completely changes how everything is seen today. So now, people are asking, how much was actually known, and who decided to stay silent? Then, there's the part that has everyone talking nonstop, the so-called yacht pass claims. Where did these stories really begin, and why are they suddenly gaining attention right now? Some people believe it's all being exaggerated, while others feel there's more beneath the surface that hasn't come out yet. So, this is no longer just another headline. Instead, it's turning into a full conversation spreading everywhere. And with new details, strong reactions, and constant speculation, people are trying to figure out what is real and what is just noise. One thing is clear, though, this story is not fading anytime soon. At the same time, the Sussexes have been facing pressure from all directions, and it hasn't been quiet at all. Big names like Piers Morgan, Samantha Markle, Valentine Lowe, and Thomas Markle have all spoken out one after another. And because of that, headlines keep stacking up and opinions keep getting louder. But what really surprised people was not the criticism, it was the silence. There were no official statements, no strong responses, and not even a quick denial. And so, it felt like they just stayed still while everything around them kept moving. And because of that, the silence itself became louder than the noise. Usually, when public figures are called out like this, they respond in some way. But here, nothing came out, and that made people even more curious. Some people believe it was a smart move, like they were playing the long game and refusing to feed the attention. But others feel there might be a deeper reason behind staying quiet. Either way, that silence became part of the story. Then things shifted again when Tom Bower stepped in with his book Revenge. And that's when everything reached another level that he described Meghan in ways that instantly grabbed attention and sparked debates everywhere. Social media reacted fast, headlines spread quickly, and people expected a response this time. But once again, there was nothing. No pushback, no denial, no reaction. And because of that, people started questioning everything. Was it all part of a strategy, or was there something happening behind the scenes? Then came another wave of headlines, this time linked to Omid Scobie and his book Endgame. And at that point, things became even more intense. Unexpected details involving senior royals suddenly entered the spotlight, and the situation quickly became messy. At first, it looked like the same pattern would continue, silence again. But this time, everything felt different. Right before the book dropped, a strong statement came out, and it was nothing like the silence people were used to. Words like deranged and melodrama were used, and it immediately caught attention. At first, people thought they understood what caused that reaction. But when they looked closer, things didn't fully match. Because when you go through the published excerpts carefully, something feels missing. It's like there's a gap in the story. And that's where the real twist comes in. The part that may have triggered the strongest reaction might not even be public yet. Now, just a few days after all this started, something unexpected came out. A voice that usually stays outside mainstream attention suddenly said something others wouldn't even risk writing. That voice was Julie Burkle. She is known for being controversial, and her past has followed her everywhere. She was removed from the Daily Telegraph in 2021 after backlash from a tweet, and later faced legal issues over comments made about a journalist. Because of that, many outlets avoid her completely. But despite all that, she still writes for The Spectator, a publication with a long history and strict editorial checks. So when something appears there, people take it seriously. Then on March 17th, everything lined up. She released a column about Meghan's upcoming luxury retreat in Sydney, and it immediately grabbed attention. The event itself was already being discussed, especially because tickets were said to be around $3,000 Australian dollars. But then, in the middle of the article, one line stood cut, and that one line changed everything. She questioned how many yachts Meghan had been on before meeting Prince Harry, suggesting it could be in double or even triple figures. And the way it was written made people stop, because it didn't sound like a rumor. It sounded confident. And more importantly, it passed through editors and legal checks before being published. That is what made people pause, because this wasn't a random social media post. This was a long-established publication putting those words out to the public. For years, conversations like this stayed hidden in forums and comment sections. But now, they were moving into mainstream discussion. However, it is important to be clear here. The article did not confirm anything, and it did not provide evidence. But what it did show was that the conversation itself is changing. Now, more than ever, separating facts from speculation is very important, because misinformation has already caused problems, including edited images, false quotes, and exaggerated claims. In fact, earlier this year, some YouTube channels were removed for spreading unsupported claims. So the standard is simple. If something is not from verified records or clearly identified sources, it should not be treated as fact. Now, as attention shifts, one name keeps coming up again: Marcus Anderson. He is not just a random figure. He is a senior figure at Soho House and had a close connection to Meghan during her time in Toronto. He attended her wedding in 2018 and her baby shower in 2019, and his presence has been consistent during key moments. According to royal correspondent Katie Nicholl, Prince Harry even asked him to arrange a private meeting with Meghan at Soho House. Although the first introduction came through Violet von Wessenholz via Instagram, Anderson played a major role afterward in organizing meetings and helping things move forward. And because of that, his role appears more structured than casual. Then, in revenge, Tom Bower added more details, including claims about Hollywood connections involving Brett Ratner and statement from Meghan's former friend, Nanaki Pretty. These claims added more layers to the conversation. And then, attention expanded further to Ron Burkle, who had a major stake in Soho House. His name has appeared in public records connected to Jeffrey Epstein, including contact lists and flight logs that have been widely reported. However, it is very important to say this clearly. Being named in such records does not automatically mean wrongdoing. That distinction matters. Now, the big question is this. After everything you've just heard, what do you actually think? Do you believe there's more to this story that hasn't been revealed yet? Or do you think a lot of this is just speculation being blown out of proportion? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation is clearly not over. And if you found this breakdown interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because more updates are definitely coming.